Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, I wanted to share a lesson from Little Bit Rich. Now, for those of you who have followed our videos, you'll know that Little Bit Rich is a man who is full of compassion, full of generosity, full of charity, and also, as it's turned out for Beth and I, full of wisdom. And he has shared many things with us about how we can proceed and prosper and still maintain our integrity, honesty and transparency. And it has been a great boon to us that he has been with us and continues to be with us. And then recently he was key to our decision to be a feel-good channel. And our feel-good channel is also known for, if there are any bad comments, we're not talking now about comments which are critical to what we do. In other words, if someone says, I don't think you should have done that, I think well, that's fine, it's okay. If someone says, I think you're a complete idiot and a fool, well, we're not going to leave that up there, because that doesn't make anybody feel good, does it? So we had this is to do with those who border on being trolls. They're not actually trolls, but they border on it, in that if you look back on all of their comments, which is what I do, that's my job, if we look back on their comments, they border always on, there's a little bit of a bite there, you know, and I watch those very carefully, and if they start to go over the edge, then I might give them a warning, or I might say, look, wouldn't you be better off on some other channel where they like this kind of stuff? Well, anyway, so that was to what we were talking about, because we received a lot of negative comments and continue to receive negative, disparaging, often quite cruel remarks about the expat, the Canadian expat, and his partner, and how that's being treated, and so on. So we try to keep that negativity down to a minimum, yet still allow people the right to comment, okay? So as long as you're not out there cussing and using bad language and all of that, then that's fine. But also, we need to be able to learn a lesson, and this particular one is the last message that I got from Little Bit Rich, and he said it's okay if you want to use this, as he knows that I do. So, bearing in mind that Little Bit Rich is the one that advised us when we were under attack from something like 5 different expat sites who seemed to be hell-bent on destroying us for whatever their reasons are, and there are still some out there who have nothing better to do than do that. Well, what Little Bit Rich said was, if you are in a boat and you're out on the sea will buffet you and push you this way and push you that way, and you're in a boat, you have a certain amount of control, but actually most of the time you'll be being pushed this way and that way off your course. But if you are an island, then you stay. You weather the storm. You may take a little damage, but you weather the storm, and you are the island. The water, the ocean, the beating that you take passes over you, around you, and it does not move you. And he made that comment, and I learned a lot from that. But this one is similar. It's about being happy, and it touches on the idea of a feel-good channel without actually directly referring to it. So this is Little Bit Rich writing now. To be happy, we must be able to maintain pleasant thoughts in our mind. What our mind thinks must be under our control, just as we control our arms or legs. For too many people, they have no control over what their mind is thinking and allow the mind to run amok with no restraint. The idiotic and insane comments are a manifestation of the undisciplined mind. These minds are the small boat on the ocean, drifting at the whim of the ocean currents. We, that is you and me, must keep a disciplined mind, maintaining a state of pleasant thoughts, that all forms of life strive to grow in their unique fullness. Even Alan, the Canadian expat, in his own mind is striving to achieve what he can be. As I observe Alan, I don't judge him good or bad. I see that he's striving to build his kingdom. This is not bad. What we're interpreting as bad is that he's not having success with how he has conducted himself. He is paying a price for his misconduct. Back to the old karma. The girlfriend and child have not committed any serious misconduct. We have to keep reiterating that over and over because it seems to get lost. So I don't see why they must pay a price. The girlfriend is a child and children make mistakes. We have to keep this in mind. Only this way can we become the island and stay firm in what we must do, regardless of which way the wind blows or the ocean currents flow. Now, I think that that's an important lesson, and it handles some of the vicious comments that we've had. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not allowed, to feel that this expat is a scammer. If that's what you feel, then that's just being honest, right? And no one is trying to take that away and say, no, you've got to say everything's just fine, isn't it? No, we're not doing that, okay? What we're saying is that we're trying to make it so that the thoughts are in the hope of redemption for this man. Let's hope that it goes forward. Let's hope that we learn good things. Let's hope that the resolution at the end of it is that he is on his way home, that his girlfriend will then have a chance to think straight for herself and for the goodness and the benefit of her child, and see that probably, and even this is not for us to judge, but probably her survival is going to be greater, her chances of survival are going to be greater if she is at home in the bosom of her family. Now let's assume for a moment, and we were told this, that there was some physical abuse. Now there's a very good reason for if that family, and let's face it, these things can't be concealed easily. If that is happening, everybody in the house knows, for goodness sake. Now, if that's the case, and we'll assume for this argument that it is the case that there was some abuse, then obviously the family are not going to like this guy. And so the girlfriend is then faced with that dilemma of how to stay loyal to the man who she has partnered with, and how to keep the loyalty and love of her family who disagree with the way that her life is evolving. And I know others like this who are facing this dilemma of, on one hand, being a loyal wife and true to their own faith, and supporting an abusive husband. It's not unusual. It's happened several times in our knowledge and our experience locally. So those things are there and they will affect the partner, the girlfriend, the wife. It will happen, and once this man in particular is on his way to Canada with little chance in the short term of returning, let's face it, he's going to have to pay off some enormous debts. He's going to have to find a job, and apart from his own living expenses, which will be considerable because he's going into a country which has a high standard of living, high cost of living. Don't know what the minimum wage is there, but I don't know of any of his skills which will promote him into a good paying job. We don't know these things, right? But all of that is going to have to be met before he can send a single penny back to his wife, or, well, his girlfriend, common law wife, and support her and the child, and to be able to pay off debts. Now, I'm not talking about the debts that he has to pay in order to return the money that he has been given through our channel from the two Canadian fellow expats, or fellow Canadians who sent something like 17,000 pesos in the first days of this man pleading for help, and Little Bit Rich, who has come forward and pledged to get him home, which he has now done. The date for leaving is the 16th, and for those who are concerned about whether Alan will have enough money to get him through immigration, yes, he will. He's not going home with a big fat wallet full of money, but we will make sure that some kind of estimate is made of what he is likely to be faced when he gets to the airport in terms of taxes and so on. I think that the document that he has, which shows that immigration have dealt with him, may be all that he'll need. But we will make sure that, and have texted him and said, please make sure that the documentation you have will see you through the airport. Right, so we've already done that and have not heard back from him, but we will. We will pursue it until we do, because he needs to be on that plane. 16th, I think it is, he needs to be on that plane. So the 13th or the 14th, he's going to get his ticket given to him, and he's going to be sent away, and he will have the money to get to the airport, which is certainly probably at least a couple of thousand, and then no man, no matter what your opinion of him, can travel between here and Canada and arrive in Canada, in Toronto, with nothing in his pocket. That's not going to happen either, okay? So we're going to take care of things in as humane a way as possible. Thank you for looking in on this. Bye for now, and a big thanks to our friend, a mentor, a supporter, Little Bit Rich.